contenders making their way out their presentation. The 8 contenders are ready to go. We will have this split warm-up. The top qualifier for the women's balance beam was Jayla Hang from the United States of America. He's going through her warm-up routine. They go through their warm-up rituals. Hang was the top qualifier. Maya from Hungary qualified second, and then Chan Zhou Fan from China was the third qualifier. This is Jayla Hang. She'll go fourth. The first rotation. Moya scheduled to go first and Chan third. So we're going to see the top 3 qualifiers in this first rotation. Well, so we're going to see Greta Moya from Hungary, but she's actually pulled out the 18-year-old from Varosh. And that is why the 9th best qualifier, Claire Pease, is up and ready to go. Been a good competition for Pease here in Antalya. A senior World Cup debut. She got a silver medal in the uneven bars and in the vault. Could she put down something here? It would be the cherry the icing on the cake. Well, an unusual, unorthodox entry on to the apparatus. Well, an unexpected entry to the final, perhaps. And a pretty solid performance there from Claire Peace, the United States of America. There will be some deductions there for loss of balance. Very, very loose terms. The judges will take off a tenth for a small loss of balance, 3/10 for a slightly bigger one, and then 5/10 if it's a big loss of balance. Falls will bring the score down a lot more than a loss of balance. An orthodox mounting of the beam from Pease. A great deal of artistry in that routine as well. Performed that tumble very well. Positioning there at the end, not so good. Just a little step forwards on the dismount. But all in all, not bad at all. There's a mystery quality, isn't there, to the balance beam. So we're all fascinated by the gymnast's ability to balance, perform acrobatic sequences with those flight components and do jumps and turns on an apparatus that is so narrow. 13.266, the benchmark set. And in terms of difficulty, well, certainly not the highest, but not the lowest from Pease. Interesting to see how this sets up against the other athletes out there. Coming out next, Turkey's very own 18-year-old Bengisu Yıldız. More orthodox mounting of the beam from Yıldız. She's going to have some points deducted for 2 losses of balance so far. Well, a couple of losses of balance there, perhaps 3 or 4 in total. She will lose some points there, but there was a playfulness in the artistry, or the artistic elements of that routine. And the coach pretty happy with the result. 13.266 set by Pease. Yildiz has to wait for the final scores from the judges. Beautiful mount. Started oh so well for her as well. Having to cling on a couple of times. And overall, she's pretty happy. Looking from Chankaya, 18-year-old, in a 12.600 in qualification. Put her 6th. And perhaps the door has opened a little here with Greta Moya not being in the lineup. It's always remarkable to see the athletes sitting in that mixed zone. In some respects, you can understand there's a little bit of relief. They've got their routine out of the way. But there must be a little bit of trepidation to what the scores are going to be, and a lot of the thoughts going through Bengisu Yildiz's mind will be about those little losses of balance. Didn't quite finish in position, but 12.3 for Yildiz. Just a little lower than her qualification score. So it doesn't threaten the score put down by qualifier number 9, who has been promoted to the final. Claire Pease in the United States, still in top spot. Now for a very interesting athlete. Qian Zhuofan from China, just 16 years old, on her first international outing. Got a bronze medal in the uneven bars here. far the highest difficulty scores through qualification. She's so focused. But execution is always going to be a challenge when the difficulty so high. For someone so young as well. That just gives you an idea of how narrow that beam is. She'd lose a full point for that fall from the beam. Well done for completing the routine at such a high level, having taken a fall right at the beginning. For someone so young, she seems to have captured the hearts of everyone else on the Chinese team. A lot of the delegation who aren't involved in today's competition are here, including the athletes, to watch Tian Zhuofan. Yes, she's had a fall on the beam, but clearly this is an athlete we need to keep our eyes on. 13.333 through qualification. Execution score of 7.033. She didn't get any penalties through qualification. That's not going to be the case here. It's been great to see quite a young audience here, a massive contingent of young people here. The local gymnastics clubs have sent their athletes here to watch these world-class competitors going for the podium. (13.266), the score set by Claire Pease is the benchmark. 12.9 the result, and difficulties still up there at 5.8, but not quite as high as her qualification. And so Tian moves provisionally into second place. I'm not convinced she's going to stay there too long. Jayla Hang from the United States of America is up next to complete the first rotation. She qualified first with a 13.7 dead. One of the team that took silver at the 2023 Junior World Championships. Vault. Hang looking to add another podium to her competition here in Antalya. Fall. Wow. The competition continues to keep us on the edge of our seats. The intrigue with these falls from the higher ranked athletes, opening the door for others here. Well, certainly not a happy look on her face. Somewhat reluctantly making her way to the mix zone, just trying to compose herself. Just 17 years old, she's got a pretty huge amount of pressure on herself. Clearly got a great relationship with coach. Like Pease, an unorthodox mount, started the routine, all looking very good until this fall. Some days in sport, you just don't feel it. And it appears that it's one of those days for Jayla Hang. Now we know that Chan, the People's Republic of China athlete who went out before her, had a fall and scored 12.9. Currently good enough for second spot. What ifs will be going through her mind right now. If only. She'll also be thinking about but her continued involvement in this competition, a 12.300. It's back in the pack. Layla Hank will be back out here competing in the floor event, and as you can see, the top 4 have completed their runs, and Claire Pease, who stepped in for Greta Moyer, who pulled out, is top of the pile. Second rotation of athletes will begin their warm-up. Well, Lai Pinyu, a 23-year-old from Chinese Taipei, going 5th. She was the 8th best qualifier. 2017 Asian Championship beam bronze for her. She's also got medals on the beam in Turkey 2022 and Melbourne at the World Cup Challenge, or World Challenge Cup, I should say. It's their 3rd World Cup beam final after 5th in Cairo in 2023 and 7th in Doha last year. It's pretty full of experience, but a couple of moments, points will be deducted for a loss of balance, and then of course a fall at the beginning. To look at the remaining athletes to go, you've got to be thinking, Claire Pease on her World Cup debut, who wasn't even supposed to be in this final. He got 2 silver medals from the competition. At the moment sits in the gold medal position. Perhaps the next athlete could be her biggest challenge. Chinese Taipei awaiting the verdict. Anything more than 12.3 and she's provisionally in the top 3 places. Well, that is not going to challenge the podium at all. So now Okamura Mana, the 19-year-old from Mi, solid execution marks through qualification. And Paris 2024 Olympian from Japan, finished 13th on the beam at the Olympic Games. He's got a couple of medals on the beam on the World Cup circuit. Last year in Cairo, bronze. And Cottbus in Germany in 2023, where she took the gold medal. She held on there. Fall. It's got contagious here. Oh, that was beautiful. Control, poise, posture, balance. There's a playful element to the artistic sections. Just cheeky. Good dismount required, not bad at all. So what was the damage of the fall? Fancy she may have done enough in the rest of the routine to get herself at least into a provisional medal position here. Anything more than 12.3, and she will be in the top 3 with 2 athletes to go. I mean, even the mount was pretty difficult, pretty complex. Did very well to hold that. But it would have been playing on her mind just a little bit. She then had this fall. So 12.3 is what Okamura is looking for. Paris Olympian. To get back on a World Cup podium. 13.1. Well. 13.133 pushes her up into second place behind Claire Pease. And now Michelle Pineda from Mexico. 17-year-old, was born in the United States of America, but elected to switch to Mexico last year, having competed under the USA flag. She's the reigning all-around and beam Pan American champion, and she has had a fall as well. Well, it's another one where you have to say, other than the fall, it's pretty solid. Difficulty not quite as high as some of the other routines, but execution, other than that fall, was pretty good. Full length of the beam for the dismount as well for Pineda. So now 12-9 is the score to beat. That's set by Tian Juefan from the People's Republic of China, currently sitting in that bronze medal position. Mura in silver, and then surprise last minute entry, Pease at the top. 12-4-3-3, not enough. Last of the athletes to go, Japan's second contender, another Olympian, the Twist Princess, Sugihara Aiko. She's a regular finalist, Sugihara. Two-time Olympian, Rio and Paris, 2016 and 2020. Despite making finals on a number of occasions, she doesn't convert to podium finishes. Is this her chance? Oh, spotted the landing there. So difficulty score was quite low, in fact lowest in qualification, of 5 of all the final 8. But she's looking to make up for that in execution. And no falls. Just 3 athletes not to fall from the beam in this final. Coaches look happy. So sitting at the top, Claire Pease for the United States of America, 3-2-6-6. 13-1-3-3 silver score for Japan's Okamura Mana. Currently in third, Tian Juefan with 12-9. So 12-9, the score Sugihara's looking to topple. She nearly took a topple there. Spotted the landing absolutely perfectly. She can do is wait on, as she done enough to dislodge Tian Zhuofan from the podium. There it is, a 12.5 isn't enough to dislodge Tian from the podium. Tian stays up at 4th place. A good effort from Sugihara. But the women's balance beam has concluded, and look at that. Stepping in to replace Greta Moya, Claire Peace of the United States of America has only gone and claimed the gold medal competitions. Prepare yourselves now for the women's floor exercise, and 8 contenders come out to take this one on. From powerful tumbling to elegant dance, the women's floor exercise is a dynamic spectacle of skill and artistry. Which of these 8 athletes rise to the challenge and make the podium? Well, a full lineup here of the 8 contenders. I need to keep an eye on the 2 Japanese athletes going 1st and 7th. Nakamura Mana qualified 2nd, Paris Olympian, just 19 years old. She got a 13.367 through qualification. Sugihara going 7th down near the end of the contest. Osaka scored a 13.600. The Japanese athletes say contenders. They both competed in the Olympic Games. Sugihara, Rio 2016 and Tokyo 2020. Nakamura, Paris 2024. 2 Americans might be worth looking out for as well. Jayla Hang has already experienced gold here on the vault. Made the podium in the women's balance beam. And her teammate, Claire Peace, who qualified 9th and was promoted into the balance beam final because of the withdrawal of Greta Moya of Hungary. Surprised us all by taking the gold medal just a little earlier on today. Laura took silver on the balance beam. They'll be looking to inspire the youngsters watching on. Sarapeta, Hungarian from Budapest, 22 years old. She'll be going 4th in the order. She was 10th on the floor at the Baku World Cup just a couple of weekends ago. So we're about to get underway. Choreography, absolutely important, but so is the coverage of the floor. Okamura Mana from Japan to start the women's floor exercise here in Antalya. Playful, full of musicality as well. There were moments where, for sure, deductions were going to be applied, most notably stepping outside the bounds of the floor in the far corner as we looked at it. Oh, great deal of elements in Okamura's routine there. The movement from playful to serious in the facial expressions as well, just adding to that artistry. Like bringing the choreography to life. She's going to be putting down a benchmark, that is for sure. The question is it high enough? She got a penalty in her, oh apologies, no penalties in her qualification run. But the highest level of difficulty in the routine as well. And she has got pedigree, gold on the floor at the Cairo World Cup last year. Paris 2024 Olympian. Those athletes, you just look at them and they're just loving their job. So 13.066, the benchmark set. That is 0.5 points down from where she was in qualification. Now, the star of the women's competition here in Antalya. 2 silvers and a gold already, and that gold coming for an event she didn't technically qualify for. Claire Pease of the United States of America. Exquisite. Simply stunning. Making a World Cup debut. Senior World Cup debut, I should say. 16-year-old from Hawaii has really brought Antalya to life. 2 silvers and a gold already here, and I think that floor routine is worthy of another medal here. And talk about the contrast from Okumura's routine. Playful and cheeky. This was much more like it was set on a stage of a dramatic oriental play. It was absolutely thrilling. The tumbles, superb. Okay, she might get marked down a little bit on the landings, but there was lots of complexity, a lot of difficulty in there. That was the biggest of the corrections required on landing, and I wonder if she'll get marked down for just stepping outside, just a little glimpse of the heel on the outer red area outside the field of play. Claire Pease of the USA looking for medal number 4 here. One of the judges is done. Just waiting for the others. Looks like the Rubber stamping of the rubber stamping has been done. All we need now are for the scores to appear, and there it is, a 13.266. Moves her straight up into first place. Now, Mexico's Michelle Pineda, originally from the USA, switched to compete under the Mexican flag last year. Well, talk about a little bit of Latin flair. The Mexican vibes were very strong in that routine. Yes, there was a little error on the landing of one of the tumbles, but the fourth best qualifier set a 13.167 in qualification. Marked down just a touch on execution through qualification, which might be the case here. But well, one thing's for sure, we've seen three routines that have been so contrasting in their musicality, their theatre. All three have been stunning. (13.266), the top score set so far by Claire Pease of the United States of America. Michelle Pineda looking on. Has she done enough to overcome the North American opponent here in Antalya? (13.266). It's the same score, but second place at the moment for Pineda. Now the fourth of our contenders, Hungary's 22-year-old Sara Petter. No shortage of drama in that one either. Sarapeta doesn't look too happy at the outcome. She certainly stepped outside the boundaries of the floor on one occasion. She got a 12.9 in qualification, but the difficulty was a little bit lower than her opponents here in this final. Great deal of amplitude there, and spotted that landing. Complicated combination of tumbles, and there's the step out. A 12.7 on the nose, and it's that difficulty score that has brought her down. So no challenge for the podium from Sarapeta from Hungary. And the second group of athletes have their warm-up time. Jayla Hang looking to add to her vault gold that she's taken here in Antalya. She'll be going 6th. Next up it's Keisha Lockhart from Norway. So the 17-year-old Norwegian from Kongsvinger. Qualifier number 8 begins her routine here in Antalya. Again, something a little different. Wonders whether some of the landings may result in points deductions that will prevent her from threatening the podium.
performansı için yer aletine teşekkür ederim.
just came loose a little bit there. A great deal of theatre, that's for sure. 12.233, only good enough for 5th place. 3 athletes to go. Jayla Hang from the United States of America, the vault champion here in Antalya, to go next. Well, you can see why she qualified 3rd for this floor final. 13.333 through her qualification exercise. Coach providing solid support there. Affirmation of some work that she's done on her Senior World Cup debut. Part of the floor routine requires the athletes to use as much of the expanse as possible. If you're being really hypercritical, Hang stayed very safely within the bounds. At 12.966, only good enough for 4th place here. So the leading pack, Peas of the USA from Pineda and Okamura, 13.066, the score to beat to get into a podium position. Sugihara Aiko up next. Well, top qualifier there from Osaka, Japan, 25-year-old Sugihara Aiko. She gave us 2 routines there wrapped into one. And that was full of vim and vigour. And talk about using the whole floor. She did that and not a tiny bit more. Well, you just don't think it's possible for her to go around one more time. But that she did and kept her form as well. Great amplitude on that leap. And she's got a reason to be pleased. 13.066. More than that will get her into a podium position. 13.266 is the score to beat for gold. Trying to keep her mind clear and still, but the anticipation is very tricky to manage, especially with a camera pointed in your face. Does give us a chance to look back on some of that fantastic routine and talk about using all of the floor and not just 1 inch more. Perfect example of landing in the corners after a tumbling routine. And the moment that the story changed for Sugihara in her music. Change of music came a breath of fresh air in terms of the routine. It's almost like as the music sprung free, so did she. Never a good sign when the judges are having to phone for IT support. Everyone's waiting for these scores to come in. Great anticipation. See some of the Japanese contingent in the crowd have come ready to dash straight to the airport. Suitcases in tow. Hope their flight's not too soon. Sugihara Eiko is just being made to wait a little bit longer for these scores to come through. Something's afoot in the judging corner. So we know she's got no line penalties. Well, not from that judge anyway. Other than that, we can't really say too much. Well, still managing to keep a smile on her face. We have got one athlete left to go. 13.633 pushes Sugihara to the top of the rankings. So the wait was worth waiting for. Final contender, Qin Qingyi from the People's Republic of China. So, Qi completes her routine. Not the highest level of difficulty, but execution was pretty good. Is it enough to break into the top three? 13.266 would be the minimum required. Sugihara of Japan broke into the top spot with a 13.633. I don't think that's going to get challenged, but Pease of the USA sitting second with 13.266. Pineda of Mexico on the same score in third. Could be threatened. Is it into the 13s or not? That is the question. Well, it is into the 13s, but it's not enough to break onto the podium. And that means that the women's competition is concluded, and here are the classified results. Sugihara Aiko from Japan taking gold. Claire Pease with her third silver medal here in Antalya will be delighted on her World Cup debut. United States of America have got a bit of a star in the making there. We roll straight on to the women's balance beam medal ceremony. And it was a terrific contest. The qualifier 9th stepped in because the second qualifier, Greta Moya, Hungary, had to pull out. She went on to take the gold. Claire Pease, the United States of America, with the gold medal from Japan's Okamura Mana in silver. And a superstar in the making, 16-year-old Tian Zhuo Fan from People's Republic of China, collecting the bronze medal. Very, very interesting contest, the women's balance beam. Some performance from Claire Pease. Promoted to the final from 9th in qualification, takes the gold medal. So now onto the women's floor, and it's a fourth medal of a fourth event, silver for Claire Pease on the left-hand side. On the right with the bronze, Michelle Pineda of Mexico, the top of the pile. The biggest smile in the house, it's Sugihara Aiko. She had to wait an awfully long time for her scores to come in, but Japanese athlete from Osaka claimed the final women's gold of the competition, but a competition that we have to give a nod to Claire Pease from the USA. 1 gold, 3 silver medals, including the women's floor. It will be Sugihara who will celebrate with her anthem though.
Congratulations.
The women's competition medalists. Sugihara Aiko from Japan with gold. He's the United States of America with silver. Pineda of Mexico with the bronze medal.